On Turkey's coast, a new hull touches the water for the first time this month, sunlight catching wet steel as the yard around her goes quiet for a moment. Her name is Lointaine, and everything about how she was drawn breaks from how this industry usually works. Most yachts built for a wheelchair user start as a finished design, then a lift gets fitted in wherever there happens to be room. Lointaine's architects worked the opposite way, and they started with one requirement before a single deck was drawn. Immediately that decision shows. A lift big enough for a wheelchair to turn inside runs all 4 decks, from the lower deck up to the sun deck above. A second lift carries you straight from the swim platform to the main deck, so boarding from a tender is never a barrier. Every corridor and every outside walkway on this boat measures at least a full meter across, wide enough to turn in, not just pass through. At 35 meters and 328 gross tons, she sleeps 10 guests around a full beam owner's deck, complete with its own lounge and its own dressing room, plus a separate VIP suite for family or friends. Steel carries her hull, aluminium her superstructure, and twin Cummins diesels give her 3,450 nautical miles of range before she needs fuel again. None of that answers the real question though. Up on the flybridge sits a bar, lounge seating, even a DJ booth, a deck built purely for fun. Nobody outside the yard knew, right through launch day, whether that lift reaches so high, or whether the accessibility stops the moment you leave the guest decks below. That gap in the record sat open for days. Then Superyacht Times, reporting after everyone else, found the answer. The lift climbs straight up to the flybridge too. Every deck you could ever reach on Lointaine, a wheelchair can reach exactly the same way, including the one built for nothing but pleasure. That was worth proving before anything else. Soyaslan built her as the first hull in a series that grows all the way to 40 meters, betting this idea only gets stronger with size. Right now, on the water for the very first time, with sea trials still ahead of her, she already stands as proof that accessible was never the trade-off everyone assumed it had to be. Step aboard Lointaine, and there is no deck left out of reach.